Chris, good to see you. It's been a tough week, I imagine, for more than one reason. If you can address the speculation that was doing the rounds, certainly on social media earlier in the week, about your position, your future at the club, is there any comment that you want to make to clarify that situation?
Well, first of all, I don't do social media, as you understand, and correct. Another tough week in what has been quite a tough season for all of us connected at our football club. I think regarding rumours and speculation, there's always going to be that in football. So I don't really deal in that. All I deal in is looking at that next game and trying to prepare the team to get a result in a very difficult FA Cup tie down at Bristol.
But to clarify, you don't see your future anywhere else but here for the certain time being, do you?
I'm Sheffield United manager, and as I said, rumours, speculation, and all stuff like that. Whenever you win, whether you lose, and football, nothing really surprises you in the game, does it? At all. But as far as I'm concerned, as I said, head down and on to the next game, and really, that's all I'm really prepared to talk about.
If we could address Leesman's set as well. Again, there's some pictures that appeared, a car pertaining to belong to Lees. How is the club handling that? And again, can you bring any clarity?
Yeah, of course. Internally, obviously, it's in the hands of Lees's solicitor and the club's solicitor regarding the incident. But there's no getting away from it. We've talked to Lees about his discipline and his commitments to the football club and his responsibilities as a professional footballer. Obviously, it's left with the legals on it. But if there's any action taken by the police, then it will be dealt with Lees and his agent, and obviously the football club. So of course, without trying to dodge it, it's disappointing when you see the pictures and you hear the story regarding what happened on Sunday night. But it will be dealt with internally and fairly, and I think that's the best way of putting it, Rich.
To confirm, it is his car, though. Is he okay?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's trained this week, and it is his car. Yeah.
Let's try and look ahead to this weekend now, because there is a game to be played, a game to be won. It's the FA Cup. In past years, I know you've tried to rotate the squad and give perhaps some players that haven't had a game a run out. Will that be the same this time around, or is getting the win the most important and be the strongest team available?
Well, I think obviously you look at every season in isolation, but I think I should imagine everybody would understand that this is a hugely important game for us as a football club because of the losing streak, the losing run that we're on at the moment. So I've got to obviously look at a game on Tuesday night and a game on Saturday, in the Premier League as well. And looking at, I think we've possibly got 16 outfield players fit and healthy to travel. We've obviously been hit quite hard with injuries, and obviously we talked about last week, the virus as well that struck down a couple of the players and about 4 or 5 members of the staff. So looking at the group, we'll select a side that, regardless of who we play and wants to go well. I think we have to get back to basics. We have to, this is a huge game for us as a football club because of the situation that we're in, and we need a win. We need a win for belief. We need a win for self-confidence. We need a win to perk everybody at the football club up. Supporters, me included, and the players understand that, and I've spoke to them about that. I think whatever team I've ever picked has always had a look of determination, regardless of what players are playing and how strong it is, and consistency. I remember playing in the FA Cup last year against Millwall, and I know how difficult it is playing at Millwall at the best of times, and we changed the side. But I spoke to Gary Rowett after the game, and he talked about this wasn't a draw that we were looking forward to, because he knows how consistent we were in terms of our attitude, and that has to be the case down at Bristol Rovers, because if it isn't, we get turned over. It's as simple as that.
And I know you previously said that you'd look at bringing in loan players in this window. Are you any further down the line with that? Is there any light on the horizon?
No, it's with the board and the negotiations above me, the negotiators above me. As I've said, I'll always do the best for the football club, whatever decision is made by myself, to try and improve us, as always, as a football club. So I've been consistent in terms of my view that we could do with a couple of players coming in the window, and that hasn't changed. So yeah, it's with other people at the football club now to see if we can get those couple of players in to make us stronger.
Final question from me, Chris, and you touched upon how your team's been affected by the virus over the last couple of weeks or so. You probably saw Sean Dyche had a suggestion yesterday about possibly vaccinating footballers, and then the proceeds that the Premier League would have put into testing, putting it back into the NHS. Do you have any views on that?
Sorry, Richard, it's all broken up. Sorry about that.
I was just saying, no, that's absolutely fine. It's probably my end anyway, technology. Just saying, I guess you saw Sean Dyche's comments yesterday about vaccinating footballers and possibly putting the proceeds that would have been spent on testing into the NHS. Did you have any thoughts on that yourself?
Well, I always agree with a lot of things that Sean says, because I've got a huge amount of respect for what he says, but I've not really thought about it, if I'm honest, Rich. I've yet again been consistent with the medical experts at the Premier League to make the right decisions for not just the Premier League but for football in general, and obviously, you know, I will go along with those outcomes that they make in obviously very testing times for us all.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Rich. Thanks, mate. Take care, pal.
Cheers.
Hi, Chris. It's Andy from Radio Sheffield here.
Hi, Andy.
Morning. To revert back, I mean, look, since last Saturday, have you had any conversations with the hierarchy to thrash out issues you may well have about the future of the football club?
I'm always speaking, Andy, to the football club, to the chief exec, about the short, medium, long-term outcome or vision of the football club. Always, I think any manager has that relationship with the chief exec, and obviously the chief exec has that relationship with the board. So, of course, there's this constant dialogue between me and Steve Bettis.
And are you reassured and happy, I suppose, for want of a better word, by what you've heard?
Well, I put my views forward, as always, as honestly as I will always do, for what I think is the best thing for this football club, and make my opinion, which I think is and should be valid, with the connection I've got with the football club, to improve us always.
Is this about, and correct me if I'm wrong, essentially rates of change and speed of progress, and you'd like things to speed up a little, whether that's about transfers in or out, wage structures, etc.?
I think we've always got our opinions, you know, how we want to see a football club move and what direction it wants to move in. But you know, as I said, I'm an employee of the football club, and I'm here to prepare the team, which I'm doing to the best of my ability for the next game, and give my views on where I think we should be going, and what we should be doing, and all different views from every part. You know, as I said, I've always been that hands-on manager. I think people understand that and recognise that, and I am interested in everything, and and that's all I can do always is do that, and respect that I'm working with and who I'm employed by.
Because the Prince was pretty categorical before Christmas. You know, if you weren't a Sheffield United employee, he would employ you. If he wanted a manager to lead the charge from the Championship back to the Premier League, should those circumstances materialise, that would be you in his choice.
Well, I respect that, and as I said, I'm moving on. You know, I've got I appreciate that support when it was given, and as always, Andy, I think you know how I operate. I'm on to that next game. And really, that's been the focus. Is preparing the players as always for the next game, and that, I think, you know, you'll ask any manager or head coach that's how it works, and you move on. We've got to get some results. We've got to get a result on Saturday, because you know it certainly hasn't been good enough from my point of view, and deeply disappointing, as you can obviously imagine, and tough and a struggle. But as I said, the focus is obviously on the next game, as it always has been and always will be with me, and as I said, any other manager stroke head coach who works in football and has that ability to affect, hopefully, a result for us on Saturday.
And where does your sort of thinking lie now regarding team selection? You obviously said to Rich a couple of moments ago, 16 outfield players that are available to you. The idea of the strong side or perhaps a change side for this match against Bristol Rovers?
Yeah, there's a lot of things to weigh up, Andy, because of the situation that we're in, because how desperate we are for a result, because there's a next game on Tuesday, and because there's injuries and illnesses. So very, very challenging, as you can imagine, to pick the right side, and that's yet again going to be a huge challenge for me. But you know, regardless of who I pick and who I choose on Saturday afternoon, they have to give a performance that represents this football club, and regardless, as I said, what players are picked, they're good enough individually and collectively to go down there and get the desired result, and show what we're about as a football club, as I've just said to Rich, in terms of what happened at Millwall and what happened at Reading. I know it's been difficult at times, because you know we have had to prioritise in terms of promotion. Promotion out of the Championship, and last year, especially in the early rounds, you know, consolidating our position in the Premier League, and sometimes you get a disjointed performance. But one thing that I'm not looking for is a performance that's not committed, that doesn't deliver the qualities that I look for in terms of what the players have got and what the team can achieve, regardless of team selection. But you know, if I am being honest about it, of course, you know, I have to weigh that up with the psychological situation that we're in at the moment, and the lack of a win this season, which obviously we're all after to kickstart us on to hopefully to get another win, and to improve our league position.
Just finally from me then, a quick thought on the opposition you face in Bristol Rovers.
Yeah, I know Paul Tisdale really well. Come up against him and his teams quite a few times, so you know, very technical side, got some good players, and you know, I should imagine that a lot of people would expect a cup upset on the cards on Saturday due to current form of us. And I've said to the players this morning, you know, no doubt that this is a great draw for them, and they'll be rubbing their hands together. So we've got to put all that out of the window and show why we're in this position as still a Premier League club and as still Premier League players, and produce a performance that epitomises what this football club's all about.
Best of luck tomorrow.
Cheers, Andy.
Okay.
Chris,
Hey,
hi.
Paul.
Afternoon all.
Hey,
Good
mate.
to speak to you. Just one from me, Chris. I'm just wondering whether there is a hidden gem in that B selection, for want of a better word. Isn't there a realistic chance that somebody could put the hand up for you and end up helping you in your Premier League campaign if you perform this weekend against Bristol?
Well, there's always, my view and opinion on it, Paul, is there's always an opportunity for people to impress, whether it's a training session, whether it's an opportunity in a game, starting or off the bench. I think one of the things that I have directed at the players, that the consistency of performances has not been good enough and is not been consistent enough. Players playing and putting their hands up to say that I can't be left out of this team because I'm playing consistently well. So of course on Saturday there will be an opportunity for everybody to stick their hand up to say that I shouldn't be left out at the next game on Tuesday night. So whether they take that or not, that's over to them. And but hopefully they will and make this. You know, I've always said I should have the most difficult of jobs in terms of picking that side because everybody's playing at the top level and current form. I still think I've got an incredibly difficult job at the moment because we're not obviously playing anywhere near to the form individually and collectively that we should be playing at. But there's always an opportunity, and hopefully the boys take that on Saturday afternoon.